Today on Can Haz Armory, how to replace the cable guide on an Omen reel. Okay, so we have a Vivero here where the head ripped off, and as I opened to look at it inside, I noticed the cable guide was chewed up, so I'm going to replace it. Replacing is really easy, but you still got to make sure you do things right. So I'll flip this over and take it apart. Okay, screws all out. That aside. Flip it over again. Lid comes off. Side lid comes off. This little, there it goes. A little sticky for some reason. Got all 4 screws out, so it's sticking a bit. No worries. I'll just kind of give it a little hand here. There it goes. Lid may have been bent a little bit. There's the lid's off. And here's the guide. It is a little chewed on the inside here. It's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to replace it. So in order to replace it, I got to take it out. Now, newer Viveros have just this wall of the casing is threaded, and the screws simply project through. This one's an older machine. It's actually about 10, maybe 12 years old. So it's got lock nuts on the back side. So I have to hold those lock nuts, take everything out. So I've got a pair of pliers and my little screwdriver drill. Grab a hold of one of the lock nuts. Okay, you want to go. Try the other one then. Some of the screws kind of chewed up. There it goes. There's one. Okay, so there's the lock nut. And there is the bolt. Let's see if I can get this to go with a... These come loose with a manual screwdriver. That was a lid falling over. Let's see if it'll go here at all. Sucker does not want to go. Okay, so we'll try the other way. Let's see if I can get this nut to move. Sometimes that's the problem with the gets locked into place, the nut gets locked up. Well, it is a lock nut for a reason. Let's see, it's going to move. I don't know if it'll actually fit any of my hand wrenches. Let's see if 5's not going to work. Nope. 8 be too big. Yep. So it's either 6 or the 7 is going to work. There's the 7. Try the 6. Okay, it's probably a 5.5. I have that elsewhere. Stand by a second here. Okay. See if the 5.5 works. There it is. It's the 5.5. Okay, why you'd ever do that, I don't know. There it goes. Okay, so it's a 5.5 wrench. I don't know why you use a 5.5. Thankfully, they don't do it anymore. So, like I said, they have the casing tap now, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, put these away. And then we can pull that out. So we slide straight out, like so. You can see we're starting to get chewed up inside right there with the cables and gripping, so that's what's going to go. Now we have a new one. Simply slips inside. Boom. And we put the nuts back on. It's actually very simple. Nut through. Get the, again, with the newer one, don't have to worry about the nut, but okay, that's in a little bit. Get the other one. Where'd it go? There it is. Now it's not going to come out. Oh, didn't go on. I'm going blind here. Come on, grab onto it. Sometimes it's not want to line up. There we go. Erg. I'm also trying to come up the camera, so that's another reason I'm having a little harder time than usual putting it back on. There it goes. Okay, so now it's on. Let's make sure it's tight. Okay, so that's on now. And now I can feed the cable through it like this. Tie a knot in it so I can put the new plug head on. And then tension it up so I can put the lid back on. So we go again. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do my normal check, make sure it comes out of the way. There's a little slide overwrap. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have an overwrap here. I'll have to push this through. Actually, it's not over, but actually fed through. So I'm gonna find that. Okay, there's the wrap. See, find where it was. Don't get caught in that. There you go. Okay, there it is. So I have to feed that through there. There it goes. Okay. Pull that out. You need to be careful when you're wiring stuff up, because if it's loose, it gets wrapped around itself. So let's see what this. Okay, we're going to tie its knot back in. Okay, learn from my fails. There we go. Now it's pulled out. Well, that's much better. All the way out. Retract. Brake moving, yep. There you go. And now the tensioned up, the new plug head, the new cable guides in. So now I can put the lid back on and put the new plug head on and get it back to the owner. One reason that I did also do the pull out I usually do is to make sure that there's nothing loose that's going to catch the lid. So now it's all wound up properly. Put this back together and then we'll get on the Ullman. Okay, so this is one of my Ullman reels, and you can see this cable sticks to the side a bit because it has started to chew through. See that notch right there? And I could patch this. I'm going to replace it. So I already took the lid off, obviously, and with this one, I have to remove three things. I have to remove that bolt, which holds that foot on. Actually, remove the foot, the bolt will come out, and then the two bolts hold this in place. So let's turn this over. So it won't hurt anything there. Okay. And it's this one here, so I'm going to take the foot out. It'll come loose. I haven't actually done this in a while. Wow, it does not want to come. Ah, there it goes. Actually, I haven't had to work on this reel in years. Since I don't use it for my classes. So here's the foot. There's the bolt. So bolt and foot. I'm going to put them together so I don't lose them. Like so. You know, this is the older style one. I had to cut the bolt head down so it fit. Now I have that screw and that screw holding the cable guide in. Now, because it still has tension, I'm going to do something that's going to hopefully not be able to come apart. So I'm going to pull some cable out. I'm going to tie it off right here to the handle. So that way, when the cable guide comes loose, I won't have this cable going and smack him in the face and whatnot. So there it is there. Let's see if we can get this out. So you have two screws here and here. There's one out. Should be the second. Yep, it came out. So there's a second one. Second one's out. Now then, flip this over. You see it's loose. Now, what I need to do to replace this is actually desolder the heads. So I'm going to now give us a little more room to work with here. Everything's taken apart, so we take the old guide and slide it off. Very easy if it gets through the cable guide. There it goes. So you see a better idea of how the guy was all chewed up there. That would eventually have cut through the cabling and broke the wires. So that's tossed. And now we have a cable guide proving that the old trope that the only difference between All-Star and Ullman is All-Star is red, Ullman's blue. So it comes through the back side since this little bevel part is the front. Sounds like it makes sense, but I've seen people put it on the wrong way. Feed it through. And I can put everything else back together. So I put the rest of the head back together, and I'll put the thing back together. Stand by. Okay, so the plug head's back together, all ready to go. Now I just got to put the cable back together. So let's flip this over. Also, notice I made a slight change where I tied the thing off. I tied the cable off to the bar here. A little better than the way I had it originally. So first thing I do is get the cable guide down. So that's going to be a case of setting it in place. There's a little lip at the front here that engages the front of the casing. Let's flip it over. Very careful, don't damage anything. And get one of these screws that's going to hold it in place. Okay, so there's the lip there. It's going to go on these two spots here. So there it is. As I drop it. There it is. So that's there now. So I've got one screw aligned with the hole. And let's get it started. Get it started. If it'll align, that's a problem. The screw smiths don't want to align up. If I get started a little bit, there it goes. Start a little bit. Now I can get down a little bit. That's in. Get the other screw. Get started. Okay, now it's started. I can tighten them up. Oops, popped out. Close that one down. That one down. And the foot. Take the bolt out. And you put the bolt in from the back side, making sure this flat hair lines up with the guide. There it is. Put the bolt on. Make sure it's lined up. It is not. Hang on. It is now. Tighten it up by hand. That's sufficient. Undo this. Let it wind back up. There we go. And that's how you replace the Ullman guide. Put the lid back on. This is ready to go back into service whenever I use it. After this, let's talk Leon Paul. Actually, ironically, from being Paul, the easiest of the ones to replace. Now, the Leon Paul. Ironically, the easiest one to take care of. So take the nut off. Again, this is the front side, not the side where the spring is. Lift it up. Now, I'm actually not going to redo this one because this needs work anyway, and there's no need to actually do a whole desoldering on this. But normally you would desolder the cable head and simply take this. I'll take the other one out. This has two. All there is a simple ring that sits loosely in a notch. So if you see the notch right here, you see the notch there, it simply sits there. Boom. The idea is that it bounces around. So instead of all the wear getting one part, the wear kind of works its way around to kind of minimize it. It does work, but again, you still have to take the thing apart and put it through. So desolder the head, put the wires through here, put it back down, put the casing back on, and you're done. And that is how you replace the cable guides on a Vivero, an Ullman, and a Leon Paul. Not that difficult, but things that I watch for. Happy armoring.